Welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Riancho, and it's Friday. Time for the live stream. Time for some more drafts. Time to have some fun. Let us begin. Here's some news. Quick breakdown of a few notable headlines today here on ESPN/NFL. We have Stafford announcing he'll return in 2026. That's pretty good. Definitely thought it would happen. They're playing the Super Bowl in LA next year. I'm sure he would like a shot to go out on top in his home stadium. So that's excellent. But even better for the Rams, they're adding Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator, joining the staff. That is phenomenal. Kingsbury, probably next year's hottest head coach in the cycle. Typically, anyone that joins Sean McVay's staff will be a head coach the year after. So that's good for him. Good for the Rams all around. And then one other thing here on the headlines, I'm sure there's other things to mention, but the Browns defensive coordinator Schwartz does exit. And as a Charger fan, I don't think they have a defensive coordinator yet. That's what I'm hoping is the name that they add. I would love to see Schwartz in the Chargers staff. I think he's a fine defensive coordinator. Not bad. He might go elsewhere. Who knows? But let's pivot to what we're here to do. We're going to draft some best ball teams. Let me check the chat real quick. We got Huhames in here. Welcome, buddy. Nice to see you. We will be hopping into a big board. We're going to hop into a big board. Try and sync it up if you want to join with me. I'll let you know. This will be my 11th big board, I believe. I believe I've done 10. Maybe this is my 12th. But yeah, we've been so far doing okay in these big boards, a pace I'm comfortable with. But Peanut Bunch in here, welcome to see it. Sean also back, and Angus in here as well. We upgraded our safety coach to defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary. Not sure if that is the best move, but yeah, I was golfing with Angus earlier today. We had a good time and shot a good round. I shot a 15 over par. We were 10 over par on the front 9, 5 over par on the back 9. Not bad today. But we are hopping into a big board, this $10 entry. I like that you only need to finish top 3 to advance. That's absolutely beautiful. Definitely increases your chances. Typically, it's the top 2 teams. So you increase your odds of breaking even up to 1 out of 6 to 1 out of 4. 3 people will make their money back in this lobby. So that's good to know. Definitely still want to shoot for the best team possible, but if we finish 3rd, that's okay as well. So I will be joining. There is a minor delay. If you would like to join me, I hope you're ready. I hope it's all set up, whether it's on your phone or on the computer. I think you should hit the button in 3, 2, 1. Click it right now. And then I'm on like a 6-second delay. So I will be joining in 3, 2, 1. I will join as well. And hopefully there are 8 spots left. It's synced up properly. If you would like to join, I think it'll work out. But if you are not interested in joining, just want to spectate, that's always perfectly fine. We got Dev in here. Good to see you, my friend. That is nice. We are down to 6 spots available. And this thing should fill rather quickly. But who knows? Sometimes they take a while. You never know for sure. But yeah, we will take another hit while we're waiting. If you have anything to smoke, if you would like to join me, you know what to do when you see this drop. All right, we're down to 4 spots left, and I actually don't have any water on me. I'm actually going to dip out and come back in like 30 seconds with some water. I will be right back. Sorry for a quick break, but I promise I'll be back in like a minute. You know what I like to do sometimes? Let me show you. Whoops, my bad. There's like almost none of this lemonade left, and sometimes I just like to drink it like straight from the bottle. If you know you're throwing it out, you know, why not? But I'll be a little bit more a little more normal. Like genuine, there's something satisfying about like just this being your cup. Also, this is not a plug, but this is the best lemonade I think to buy. Go to like Ralph's or Kroger, the premium lemonade, never from concentrate, and put like it's a little sweet for my taste. I put like 30% water and then I just like finish the rest with lemonade. I find that to be a very ideal ratio, but like legitimately very satisfying to you know what I mean? Okay. We're full. This lobby's full. We get the 103 and we're in a good spot, but um peanut butter. Oh, were you in the early one? I hope not. I hope. I mean, in a way, I kind of hope you were because you can beat me. But that's a bummer. I hope we were in at the same time. But hello, Kijo. Nice to see you. Angus. uh, is this in reference to when I walk away? I feel like that's exactly what you're talking about. Um, Still driving home. Dev might do a little bored if it's after. Yeah, definitely. Who hames? Yeah, when you live alone, there's you can literally live without a single glass in your home, and you're totally fine. Like who the fuck cares? The bottle a little bit looks like the dishwasher soap. You know, I agree with that. It does look a little bit like a jug of detergent. I agree. So make sure you have the right one. But Dev almost exclusively drinks from the jug. It's the way to go. 100%. We do get Jahmyr Gibbs at the 103. I'm happy to take that. Despite the news that definitely makes Puka a better pick with Stafford knowing he's returning, Kingsbury added to the offense. Like they also have 2 first-round picks. The Rams are in great shape. The Rams, I think, are a very good future bet to win the Super Bowl next year. I think that's legit. But it does look like we got P Punch in at the 111. So Peanut is in here with both. He's in both. Apologies that you're drafting 2 at the same time. That's unfortunate. Maybe I shouldn't do the countdown, and maybe I should just like let you see that I'm in, and like if there's spots to fill. But I like doing the countdown. It's fun for me to try to sync it up. But who hangs drinking from the jug is a power move. That's why I do it. 100%. Definitely feels like it. I mean, if you're gonna recycle it, why would you like melt it down and reshape it? Just use the exact same bottle. Just rinse it out. I mean, isn't that all they do? Like I've heard recycling is like a full scam. So if they're gonna do it at all, wouldn't they just like wash it out and just like let you deal with the consequences? I've read that like we used to ship all of our like recycling to China. This is a big tangent, but there was like a time when they just like stopped buying it, and then what we ended up doing is just like burning it and like putting it in the regular landfill. Like more than half the time, if anything, like 70-80% of the time, what you put in the recycling bin just like also gets lumped in with the trash. Like it's kind of just like performative at this point. There was a time when we actually did something with it, but we don't anymore. So anyways, I'm on a big tangent. It's basically like having a bidet. I've never had a bidet. I've never had a bidet. I've seen them in other people's houses or like in a hotel, and I'm like, I don't know how to use this. This looks odd, strange, but we're back to focus on this. um, we pulled the 103. We took Gibbs, and there was a big run on running back. I think that's definitely why taking Gibbs at the 102 is also justified. The difference between Puka and Gibbs feels rather negligible, but to know that I already have a good running back on my team. Like we almost just got Jefferson there. You know what I'm saying? Like we almost got an insane value on Jefferson at 22. He goes 21, but I'm going to double up here. Is there a lot of risk with grabbing a rookie? Yes. Do I know where he's going to play? No. Can I tell you confidently that I'm like in love with Jeremiah Love? I don't know. I got burned by Genty last year. I got burned by Omarion Hampton a little bit last year. I got burned by Travion for the most part. He had some big games, but like in general, I was so optimistic about rookies last year. Unless I'm getting someone at a big discount, then I don't really feel inclined to especially take the most expensive rookies on the board. But if we're going to be here at 22 and Jeremiah Love has an ADP of 19, I'll take this combo. I don't think this is the most common 1-2 start for a typical draft. And I really love my teams when I start off heavy running back. So we are going to go Gibbs and Love, running back, out the gate. And then I think I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go Chris Olave here. I don't know what the deal is with Rashee Rice. Feel like he might get suspended. He's literally going to be in prison for 30 days. That hasn't taken place yet. That is going to happen. So I'm not so sure what to make of him. Also, the Mahomes injury makes that a little up in the air. Rashee Rice, another player where if I'm not getting him at a discount, I'm perfectly fine passing. I don't think at this stage of the game in February you can say definitively that Rashee Rice at the 2-3 turn is a lock to hit. So if you can get him to fall, that's where I'm more comfortable. I did take him on a previous draft, and I was picking at like the 8 slot. So I would have taken Rice at like 32, 33. I think that's more appropriate. But if I'm not going to go receiver there and I have Olave, I'd rather have T. Higgins. I'd rather have A.J. Brown over Rashee Rice. Olave, however, I think there were a lot of signs to be excited and confident, hopeful that things are going to go well. But Nap God in here at the 105 went JSN, Bowers, and Ken Walker. I like the Seahawks combo. That's pretty dope. I hope Darnold gets to you at a solid number there. But I'm not so sure how I feel about Bowers. Sometimes I'm like, Bowers is absolutely going to be worth the second round draft price. To get him after McBride might be misguided. But sometimes I just don't like my teams when I start off with an early tight end. So I'm happy you went with Kenneth Walker there. So far, the team is very balanced. I wish you luck, bro. But I think the start is unique. Not bad at all. But interesting that you passed on Jefferson at 20. I feel like if I got a discount on Jefferson, it's hard to pass. But I do like Bowers around the 2-3. He has so much potential. But if Kubiak wasn't going to be their coach, I'd be worried. But I think I trust Kubiak enough where it's still a solid pick. Huhaim says Derrick Henry, Barkley up top is interesting. I don't hate it. Yeah, we did see a Saquon go at pick 10. That's early for Saquon, but when you compare him with another round 2 running back that's arguably just as good, and like not too many teams are doing that, like when 2 players have an ADP in the second round and you take them, one of them in the first round, you know, that's just not a team that is going to be replicated too often. So I don't hate that either. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm going to take Egbuka here. I'm pretty comfortable with Egbuka late 4th round, not gonna lie. I think you could push up Egbuka to like where Ladd is going, at least in this draft, like early to mid to late round 3, and I don't think it's terrible. Because if you recall, there was a stretch there where Egbuka, if you're playing daily, was being drafted as like a top 3, top 5 wide receiver. The first couple months of the season, Egbuka was really paying off as just a lock every single week. Now, there's a lot of factors that may not be the case this year, with Evans maybe leaving, maybe not. Godwin going to be healthier. Jalen McMillan also going to be much healthier. McMillan had like a broken neck. McMillan didn't play till like week 11 or something. So Egbuka's not going to be in the exact same role. But He was hitting at a very high rate, and at the moment, Mike Evans is a free agent. So there's a chance Evans leaves, and there's a chance that Igbuka really, really pays off. Olave Igbuka feels like a very comfortable 1-2 combo. And then here, I have been clicking Jalen Waddle a lot, but I kind of want to pivot and just be a little bit different. I have not been taking some of these rookies, and I think similar to Egbuka, you're not going to regret starting with 2 Ohio State wide receivers. Like, let's pull up Carnell Tate. I got to type in Carnell. Stayed at Ohio State all 3 years. Not quite an amazing rookie season, but who cares about that? Sophomore season, fairly legit, and that was with Egbuka still on the team. But 52 catches for 733 and 4 touchdowns as a sophomore. Upgraded to 51 catches in 11 games. So that's far, far superior than the 52 catches in 15 games the year prior. But for 875, 9 touchdowns, that's almost 80 yards a game and nearly a touchdown every single week. So just the track record of an Ohio State Buckeye, especially at receiver, is just such a lock, such a safe approach. And then he does have a few games that are just like massive blowups. Like here against Ohio, 5 for 101 and a touchdown. Against Minnesota, 9 for 183 and a touchdown. That's 20 yards per catch in both of those games combined. And then here against Wisconsin, 6 for 111, 2 touchdowns. The week after, 5 for 124 and a touchdown. That is pretty dope. Kind of fell off a little bit at times. Like against Indiana, they did lose. He had only 4 for 45. It's not like every single week is insane, but there are some like monster performances. And as we get closer to the draft, we'll do a little bit more closer breakdowns on some of these rookies on the channel. I am still doing a lot of stats and I'm trying to compare player to player. So like sometimes I'll look at a player and like I'm excited, but then I also want to hold off my full opinion. I want to get the measurables from the combine. I also want to like see how they measure up against every other player in the class. And then it's all about value. Like you can love a player as much as you do, and like they can absolutely pay off. But if you're getting them 4 rounds cheaper than someone else and they have similar years, you want the guy going later. So we did take 2 rookies, and I'm kind of like poo-pooing the idea of going early rookie. But at least Tate, I think, is probably one of the safest picks. I think Tyson's really interesting. So is Lemon. These 3 rookies in round 5. But until we know what team they're on, who knows? But you might find your way to the Bills. That'd be pretty fire. You could replace Mike Evans in Tampa Bay, hypothetically. That's, who knows, something that also might happen. There's so many variables. Don't want to project too much until we know. But Caleb is falling. We're at pick 70, and he's here at 65. I think that's the direction I'm going to go in. I like Ramondre's value at this price, but I think the discount on Caleb is worth it. And like I still think DJ Moore is like such a value where like I can still stack him. But interesting. Maybe I should have gone Burden there instead of Igbuka. In hindsight, maybe I would have liked this team a bit more had I taken Burden over Igbuka, but my personal ranks don't have it that way. So I'm trying to stick with my own takes. I feel like Burden, by comparison to Rome and DJ Moore, is a little bit pricey. Loveland also in the same round. Like Loveland, at least at tight end, has a much better advantage compared to his peers. Like against other tight ends, Loveland feels pretty worth it in the 4th. But Burden compared to every other wide receiver, I'm not as sure. I'm not as convinced. But it's fine. For now, I don't hate it too much. But Parker Washington is falling. Parker's an interesting pick. I do like Fannin. I don't know what to make of the Arizona quarterback situation, but at the moment, If there's any chance it could be still Kyler Murray, I do not want Michael Wilson. If anything, I'm also panicking on like clicking Trey McBride in the second round. If you're telling me Kyler is the quarterback, it's probably not Kyler. It's probably like Malik Willis or someone. But still, I would be terrified of this offense if you guaranteed me that Kyler was the guy. And right now, I don't think you can like guarantee me that he's not. He's probably not, but I don't think you can guarantee that Kyler is not the guy next season. Sup, Jamie? How you doing? You got pushed by a seal? Bummer. Did I take 3 Ohio State? Yes, I did. I did just take 3. I almost forgot about Olave. Wow. I can't believe I forgot about Olave. My boy. Suave Olave. Suavemente, Chris Olave. Do you remember when Olave was coming out for the draft and like his nickname was like Mr. Smooth? If you watched like any of his tape, like who's that like Fox broadcaster? Joel Klatt. He was like calling him Mr. Smooth on like a lot of the highlight reels, and I was like, Mr. Smooth is a good way to like nuke the potential of this nickname. His name is Olave. He's Hispanic, and the word for smooth in Spanish is suave. I thought Suave Olave was by far the better nickname, but neither of them caught on. Neither. I feel like Suave Olave still has potential, but Mr. Smooth feels ridiculous. Not an appropriate nickname for someone as cool as Chris Olave. Anyways, we see Dart falling to the 8th round, so the Matt Nagy acquisition really cratering some of his value. There was a time when I was like comfortable taking Dart in like the mid 6th. So for him to be dropping to the 8th round, I can probably cool it. But his rushing upside is so valuable. I think he's a good pick. I'm glad I took Caleb there, even unstacked. I think this was definitely the right move. Because quarterback is drying up a little bit. We could take Stafford here, take him away from the Puka drafter. But I could also get Laporta. And I do have Gibbs. So, F it. Let's go Laporta. I'm a little hyped on the Drew Petzing offensive coordinator. Like, I know he's probably not, like, a big name. And, like, a lot of people are disappointed. But I do think the circumstances, he's going to be better. The Lions personnel, just such a big upgrade over the Cardinals personnel. And at least for fantasy, like, I don't need them to be winning games. I don't give a I'm not a Lions fan, so if they miss the playoffs, what do I care? It'd be nice to see them back in the playoffs. They're a fun team to watch. But I just want fantasy points. And Jacoby Brissett was a gold mine for fantasy purposes in terms of his weapons. So we've seen Goff play very well. I kind of want to take him here. I probably should because I have both Gibbs and Laporta. I have a lot of Goff already, though. I'm gonna push quarterback. I'm gonna take a risk here. I might regret it, but I'm gonna go DJ Moore because if I miss out on Goff, I still have the potential of getting Baker coming back around. There's a shot. It's not a guarantee. I'm at 118 and Baker's ADP is 112. But I either drastically regret... The team after me has no quarterback. I'm already regretting this. Yeah, I think playing the board a bit safer might have been the move there. But you really don't know. We'll see what happens. I could still get bailed out with a Baker selection. And then who knows? That Amon-Ra team already has 2 quarterbacks. The JMO team just took Goff. So that's off the table. They did not have a QB. Right. Maybe I should have gone with Goff, but we did stack up Caleb. He was unstacked previously. That's okay. That's fine. Not going to be upset about it. But if you're enjoying the stream, if you've been watching all 9 rounds so far, do me a favor, hit that like button. Helps with the algorithm, helps support the channel. Subscribe if you're new. If you're enjoying the content, please just hit those 2 buttons. Make sure you're subscribed. We go live at least like 3 times a week, if not more. Definitely be ramping it up with extra content. as well as live streams. But yeah, hit that like button. And if you're commenting, then you're already subscribed. Let me know you're in here if you're new. And yeah, appreciate all of those things. The like button and the subscribe button. So, this was a learning opportunity. Do I regret taking DJ Moore? Not too much, but I am getting boxed out at quarterback. And the team in front of me does not have one yet, so they're definitely going to grab someone. Perhaps I did fuck up. Perhaps I did. That team at 5, I would assume, is going to take Darnold soon. Maybe not this early, but we'll be mindful of that. I don't want to snipe them, but if he's the last guy I'm comfortable with, I may end up having to do that. So, a heads up to Nap God in at the 5. Goes Darnold. Yeah, I might have spooked him. But Tyler Shuck is here. And then there's just a massive, massive cliff. So I'm going to take Tyler Shuck. Not like the best pick, but fine. We do have Olave, so it's totally justified. At least I have a stacking option. I totally forgot about Shuck. But I think appropriately you made that call. Because I don't think I would have taken Darnold there at 118. But if I decided to like push Tyler Shuck there and I got sniped, then I probably would have scooped up Darnold. Because I really hate the quarterbacks after Darnold. There are very few that I think are worth it. And then even if like they are, the upside's pretty capped. Like I'm worried about Stroud, no rushing value, and like, you know, just an odd situation. Golden circles back. I'm not in love with Golden. I do like tight end a little bit here. But I'm also in a weird spot at running back. And I've heard just amazing things about Emmett Johnson. So I'm going to take Emmett Johnson. And we will show you some stats on Emmett Johnson real quick. Emmett Johnson last season had 251 carries in 12 games for 1,451 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, and then also had 46 catches, 370 yards. 2 straight years with a minimum 39 receptions. This guy has all the skills you're looking for. Massive leap in touchdowns last season from 3 to 15. And then I believe some of these stats are in bold, which means on this website that is a bold season total indicates a player that led the conference. He led the conference, the Big Ten, in rush attempts, rushing yards, as well as overall touches. Overall plays with 297. 297. Yes, I do need to check out Emmett Johnson's full video. Oh, actually, it is not out yet. Okay. When it is out, I recommend everyone check that out. Who Hames is definitely where I heard about Emmett Johnson first. Who Hames has been on his shit. Shout out Who Hames in the chat. Another fantasy channel. Highly recommend. He's been really helping me get ready for some of these rookie takes. I respect Who Hames' opinion. And Emmett Johnson is one of his boys. So we're going to get ahead of the pack. We're going to take Emmett Johnson. We only had 2 running backs. We had Gibbs and Jeremiah Love. And I did kind of like poo-poo drafting these rookies. But here we are with 2 of our running backs as rookies. So there are some I'm willing to take a stab on more than others. But I definitely knew I needed running back there. Almost went Kenny Gainwell. Considered Dobbins, but I was optimistic that maybe one would circle back, especially Dobbins. And I think this section of the draft at running back is where the cliff is really, really imminent. There are not that many running backs in this range and later that I feel rather confident in. And even Emmett Johnson, like as much as we can see the stats and like be optimistic, you never know. But out of Nebraska, let's just get some quick stats. Emmett Johnson is 5'11". He is 200 pounds. That's a pretty decent bulk. Could be better, but I'm not going to nitpick. If you're over 200, that's definitely solid. And If we go to Jeremiah Love, he is 6 feet 214, and he's a little bit younger as well. But about to be on the clock. I kind of want to take quarterback here just to take my preference, but I also think I don't want to get boxed out. And I'll be honest, I do think Shaheed has a lot of upside because the way he's being used in Seattle is not really how he was ever used in like New Orleans. Like he was a huge deep threat, and like he still is a deep threat, but like he's just mostly a special teams guy with the Seahawks. That it kind of like caps some of his like true value. But like he's gonna get a big contract, especially if they win the Super Bowl. He's gonna get a huge contract. Probably follows Kubiak to Las Vegas potentially, who already knows how to use him well. A team that is devoid of other receiving talent. If he goes to Vegas, he could fucking crush. I was actually kind of hoping I got Kamara there, but both teams already had 5 running backs, so I was willing to gamble that he would come back. But Cam Ward goes. I kind of thought about Cam Ward there, to be honest. But I don't think I'm going to force that. I think instead, shit, I should have drafted running back. I mean quarterback there. I think I fucked this turn up a little bit. I'm going to go Jordan Mason. I don't like it, but I'm worried about Charbonnet's injury, like such a late time of the year to tear your ACL. That's not good. So I would love to take Charbonnet, but I think with 2 rookies, I don't feel confident enough. And at the moment, I at least believe that Jordan Mason's going to stay under contract with the Vikings. I could also see them like bring in Kenny Gainwell, and we're just fucked with this pick. But Aaron Jones at like 31, you can't feel too confident about that. Is Aaron Jones even like under contract next season? Aaron Jones might be no, he is under contract next season. He is indeed still under contract, but it appears that they could probably cut him and save like 7. Oh, I think he's getting cut. If this is how I'm reading this correctly, cap savings to get cut before June 1st, 7.7 million. No fucking chance they're keeping Aaron Jones at 31 years old. No fucking chance. So maybe it is Jordan Mason season. Maybe it is his time, but he didn't look very good. He did not look very good. Anyway. Yes, when it drops, let's all head over to Who Haynes channel, check out the Emmett Johnson spotlight. But okay. Yeah, I gotta hit you up on the Discord. I still haven't figured it out. I haven't even claimed the account. I got an email the other day that I have to claim the account. But no problem, bro. Appreciate all your content. You got some good takes, and you've been on your game at this stage of the year, helping me get on my game. But Albie saying, have you made your Super Bowl pick yet? Not yet. I'm a little bit unenthused, not gonna lie, but that is something I have to do. That is something I have to do. Hope I am picking against New England one more time. You know, Albie, I've thought about it, and I think I might take one for the team. I might leap on the grenade for the collective, because nobody outside of Patriots, the Patriots fan base really wants them to win. It'd be very annoying, to be honest, to see the Patriots win. And since I've been wrong about them 3 straight times, if I pick them to win, then I should be wrong again. And that way I'll bite the bullet and I'll let everybody else that's picking Seattle be right. You know what I'm saying? Like I might be helping out what really like we all want to happen by if I pick the Patriots to win and I'm wrong about it. And then if I'm right, then I can just, make a profit on taking them money line or whatever. But I do not want the Patriots to win. I really don't. But Jamie said maybe Rashad goes to the Vikings. That's also very interesting. I could see that happen. Albie, no, I'm trying to play reverse chess, man. Reverse mind games. Fuck the Patriots. If you're not from New England, if you didn't grow up a Patriots fan and you're rooting for them, like what the fuck? That makes no sense to me. But um F it. I don't really like anyone in this range. So let's take the rookie. Let's go Elijah Surratt. Let's take Surratt. I do think Surratt's interesting. And at this stage of the game, we're in the end of the 14th round. I think the rookies that are in this range, you can definitely swing on. So definitely a few more rookies than I'm used to drafting. We have 2 at receiver and 2 at running back already, and it's still only round 14. I'm probably going to cool it, but who knows? I might also take some swings in the final rounds as well. But we got Caleb Williams, Tyler Shuck, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jeremiah Love, Emmett Johnson, and Jordan Mason. Don't love the running back room, but didn't want to take Sean Tucker or Jonathan Brooks there either. And then the names also are very gross moving forward. But instead, I'm going to take who I think could potentially be like the steal of the draft. Travis Kelce going in the 15th round does not make sense to me. Travis Kelce had 155 fantasy points last year, and I really don't think he's going to retire. I really don't. I think he has one more year left in him. I think there's a chance they even bring back like Tyreek Hill, get the band back together for one more shot. The way last year ended was just so terrible. I really don't think he wants to go out that way. And if there's one position where you can play deep into your 30s, it kind of is tight end. So I'll give Kelce one more year. I'm still going to draft a third tight end. But if you tell me he plays, and we know that for sure, like if he just announces he's coming out of retirement, he flies up the board to like at least like where Juwan Johnson is going. Probably above Brenton Strange, maybe even above Goddard and Kincaid, perhaps even above Gadsden. Like last year, he went in the 9th, 8th round, and he smashed. He was worth it. He maybe wasn't like the best tight end possible, but he was worth that draft capital. So for him to be going in round 15, I've actually been drafting him like crazy. And as someone who kind of hates him, it's disgusting, but I'm happy that I can get it out of my system now. And then when his ADP does bump up, I can stop for a long time and just be like, I got the better value. Let's pass on Kelce in the 9th and 10th round. Like if you're telling me he's going opposite, in the same range as Kittle, Goddard, Kincaid, and Gadsden, he's still an okay pick. But compared to here, next to Colby Parkinson and Isaiah Likely, the only risk is that he retires. And I just don't think I've seen or heard enough out of him to be convinced that he's retiring. So as long as he is active, this is one of actually like the best values at tight end on the board, in my opinion. 2 full rounds after Hunter Henry. As long as he's healthy to play, I think Kelce is a very, very good pick. At least today. We'll see in a couple weeks if he does announce retirement. That would be a bummer. I think he deserves one more shot. I'm also like heavily invested in him, so I would definitely be upset. But Torrey Horton goes. I've been drafting a shit ton of Torrey Horton to the Sam Darnold team, so honestly, that was an excellent, excellent pick. I probably would not have let him circle back. But we have... I might just go Shador just because I know he's going to play, but I think instead I'm going to go David Njoku. I could see him following Stefanski to Atlanta and then just having, like a Fannin and Njoku approach. And last year he was okay. He gets hurt a lot, so this is actually kind of a risky combo with Kelce and Njoku. But in terms of like also just straight up value, in any given game, Njoku can drop like 18 points. He's someone that can put up 100 plus yards and a touchdown kind of easily. There are games where Njoku gets like 12 plus targets. So we'll see where he signs. But if you told me he just follows Stefanski to Atlanta and they like get rid of Kyle Pitts, that'd be kind of cool. I think they're going to hold on to Kyle Pitts, but I'm taking Shador. Fuck it. I don't take him much. I don't love the quarterbacks I got on this team, but at least we have Caleb. Caleb at a good value with Shuck and Shador. That's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Two Mules in a Cart says people have underestimated Aaron Jones year after year. The guy's a baller, in my opinion. I would agree. I think Aaron Jones is a very talented, underrated player as well. Has a nose for the end zone, but consistently gets hurt, especially the last couple of years in Minnesota. Was definitely the more effective running back between him and Mason. But I think just from a financial standpoint, with them moving off the GM in Minnesota, if they can actually clear 7.7 mil by cutting him at the age of 31, unless they bring in like Rodgers, I think they can move off of him and it's fine. I'm not going to be shocked if they cut him. I'll put it that way. But is Mason like a better player than Aaron Jones? No, he's just younger and also under contract. And they traded for him last year. I doubt they're going to cut him, given they gave up a draft pick as well to get him. That's my take on it. So we'll see. But am I going to hedge that? Hedge what? I get $20 on the Pats to win when they were plus 5,000, and I grew up in New England, so I'm kosher. I mean, that's an amazing return. Plus 5,000. Damn, good value, Albie. Good one. I assume Who Hames is asking you this question, but yeah, I think that's pretty fair. To win $1,000 off of $20, I don't think you need to hedge it. But Who Hames makes a good point. You can definitely profit because if you put like let's say 100 down on the Seahawks and make 200, that'd be okay. But to only lose 20, I think that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to root against the outcome you really want, then like that's definitely a more entertaining way to do it. High highs and low lows. That's the gambler's way. um Yeah, this is probably a more reasonable way to approach it. Only $50, not 100. But let me You know what? We might just go like full send on the rookies. Yeah, I'm going to go Omar Cooper Jr. because the teams after me only have 5 receivers and 4. They're going to be hammering that position here. Gator Heels has 8 running backs, and they started off Bijan, Jacobs, and Brees Hall. This is why my running back room looks like shit, because Gator Heels at the turn went way too overboard unnecessarily. So, you know what? I don't give a shit. If we baited him into going super heavy on running back when it was like unnecessary, like, fine, be my guest. But 5 of these players are not hitting your lineup every week. It's a deadly running back room. I will acknowledge this is an interesting move, but that worked out. We're gonna go Adam Randall as well. We're just going heavy running back on this one today. And here's the team so far: Gibbs, Jeremiah Love at running back in the 1-2 turn. Our other running backs are Emmett Johnson in the 11th round and Jordan Mason in the 13th. I also just took Adam Randall in the 19th, second to final round. And let's pull up Adam Randall. Out of Clemson, converted wide receiver. So you know he can catch passes. Last year he had 36 catches, 254. He actually had his best year receiving out of the running back slot. But his first year as a converted running back had 4.8 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns on 168 carries, 814 yards. From scrimmage, he had 204 touches, 1,068 yards, and 13 touchdowns in 13 games. So averaged a touchdown per week. Let's show you his game log real quick. One of his best games was against Syracuse. Had 16 carries for 130 yards, another 7 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. I'll try to get some clips out of that game on the channel because I do like Adam Randall quite a bit. Another 100-yard game with only 15 carries against Louisville. Another 100-yard game on 24 carries with a touchdown against South Carolina. And then also a very effective game, 16 for 89 and 2 touchdowns against Duke. He also went over 100 against Troy, but I believe Troy is in like the Mountain American Conference, like not a team you're like really expecting him to play poorly against. So interesting stats. The most notable stat though on Adam Randall, this might be eye popping. The man is 6'2", 235 pounds. The man is a bus. Like, just an absolute tank. I would not want to be the safety that is the only thing standing between him and the end zone. That would be a nightmare. Imagine, like, 20 yards downfield, Adam Randall breaks through, like, every other level of the defense, and you're just one-on-one. Like, leave me the fuck alone, bro. I might just pancake and let you run over me. I think I'll make a business decision on that one. 235 pounds. Yikes. This dude might do nothing, but it's a 19th round pick, and I'm excited. At least for vibes, to have him on the roster feels good. But we only have 5 running backs. I think we need to take another one. And I'm talking myself a little bit into Isaiah Davis at this price. I think Isaiah Davis is probably going to get some touches, pretty much guaranteed. It wouldn't shock me if they just went Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis and just let Brees walk in free agency. It didn't even sign anyone. Like, just drafted someone in like the 6th round or some shit. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all. So we needed running back. We go Isaiah Davis as our 6th. And let's do a quick recap of the full team. We mentioned the running back room with Gibbs, Love, Emmett Johnson, Jordan Mason. That one is a big boom bust option. That one could be good. That one could be worthless. But then in the last 2 rounds, we took Adam Randall and Isaiah Davis. I don't really see much of a difference between some of these like final round running backs and some guys going like around Jordan Mason. Like, if you could tell me easily that Jonathan Brooks is a much worse pick than Isaiah Davis going undrafted. I could definitely see that happen. So I kind of like to avoid running backs in this range. Like, once you get to Sharbs and Rashad White, there's not that many names I'm really in love with after that point. So that's why we move off of it. But our quarterbacks are Caleb Williams. Thank God I have a good quarterback with Caleb, because I don't really like the other 201s I got. I got Tyler Shuck in the 10th round. We waited a little too long on quarterback there. I probably should have taken Jared Goff instead of DJ Moore. I would like this team a lot more if I had Goff instead of Tyler Shuck. I also took Shedeur Sanders, and that pick feels terrible. Like, honestly, I wish in hindsight I took Goff instead of DJ Moore, and then I also took Shuck, and then instead of Shedeur, we took like Darnell Mooney or someone. Like, I think DJ Moore for Goff was the big error of this team. I would have loved my team a lot more if I had 3 quarterbacks by the time I took Tyler Shuck. So that is an error. Hopefully we learn from the mistake. And I already had 4 like solid okay receivers at that point. I do think that was the main mistake of this draft. But at receiver, our full wide receiver room is Chris Olave, Egbuka, Cardell Tate, Parker Washington, DJ Moore, Shaheed, Elijah Surratt, and Omar Cooper Jr. I took 8 of them, and that's fine. But then tight end, we have Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce, David Njoku, some high upside there. So that feels pretty strong. And there's always going to be one weakness when your tight end room feels pretty good. So that was the main mistake. The Goff selection I should have definitely made in hindsight, but you live and you learn. I already have a lot of Goff, so I didn't really want to add to my high exposure, but that was just the right pick. In my opinion, I think that was the right pick. So that's the team. Let me catch up with the chat and then review anybody else's team I recognize. But Albie said, did that one Herbert vote cast May his first MVP? I hope so. Herbert deserves some fucking votes, and May has plenty of time to get it. I'm glad Stafford won. I think Stafford deserved it more than Drake May. I hope that is actually what happened. That would be satisfying if that's actually the reason why. Um, but I'm just a hater. Who Hames says, I like to think it was the 2 Josh Allen votes to create more divisional hatred. That's an interesting take. Dev says Antonio Williams from Clemson is a baller also. Projected round 2 pick that goes undrafted. Let's take a look at him. Antonio Williams. Wide receiver, played all 4 years. Had 600 yards last season on 55 catches in 10 games. The year before that, in 14 games, had 75 for 904 and 11 touchdowns. So a little bit better as a third-year sophomore, his junior year, but still pretty solid last season as well. And interesting why he didn't declare for the draft last season. But I guess in college these days you can make so much money, it's not always as much worth it. So, okay, sweet. He played all 4 years, and yeah, the stats are not bad, especially this third season with 75 catches for 900 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's not bad at all. Also, a little bit of rushing value as well. 7 for 101. Last year, 13 for 78 and another touchdown. Not bad. He goes fully undrafted, you say. Good to know. Is he in the player pool? Sometimes they're not in the player pool. But no, he is. Okay. You know what? We might take a swing on Antonio Williams. Thank you, Dev. Love the shout out. Not bad. Who Hames says Antonio Williams projected second round confuses me, but yeah, mixing him in makes sense. 2 meals in a cart. Thank you very much. Hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate that. We got 19 viewers, 11 likes. So if we can get that up to 15 or higher, we will do a second draft as quickly as possible. If you would like a second draft and you haven't hit the like, please do so for ya boy. Much appreciated. And I guess the only question is, are we doing a big board or a little board? I'm going to start a quick poll. We won't leave it up too much longer. After we review some teams, we'll hopefully have enough likes for another draft. But which tournament? Little board or big board? All right, hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate it. Jamie says, I can see Mason hitting the end zone around 6 or 7 times to hit your lineup some weeks. I think he has that potential. I think it's definitely possible. Absolutely possible. But it's all going to depend on what they do with Aaron Jones and in free agency. Like, if you tell me they cut Aaron Jones, save almost $8 million, and then give like $5 million to like Kenneth Gainwell, I could also see that happen. And like, then Jordan Mason is like so irrelevant even then. So it's tricky. It's not ideal, not good, but there's also a world where they don't cut him. They might just keep him. But I think if I was a GM and I had a chance to cut a 31-year-old running back that has missed a bunch of time, I think I would do it for this price. 8 mil, 7.75 is not nothing. Peanut Punch already has a bunch of shares of Williams, but haven't seen him projected second round. Who Hames also says, I have seen it as well. The second round mock, the late second, early third, pretty common. And James says, I vote little board so you can bet more on the Super Bowl Patriots money line. Interesting. Okay. 2 more likes and we'll do another draft. 2 more likes and we will do another draft. Let's review some other teams, though. In this lobby, we had Nap Ball at the 105. Let's take a look at Nap's team. Quarterback. He has... Hold on. Yes. Okay, here we go. At quarterback, you have Mahomes, Darnold, and Brissett. 4 pick value on Mahomes. You did reach on Darnold, but I think that was... I'll be honest, I probably would have taken him myself. I might have double tapped Tyler Shuck and Darnold there. So I think you wisely took him ahead of me. And then Brissett at a solid value, 9 picks. Not bad, but I'm not convinced Brissett is going to be a starter. That's my take. I want to see it before I believe it. I'm not convinced he will actually sign. with and be a starter somewhere. So maybe it's Arizona, maybe he comes back, but I want to see it before it happens. I could see him go to the Colts. I could see him return to Indy and be the starter for Indy as well, like until Daniel Jones gets healthy. So gonna have some value, but not a guarantee. Going super late, so that's fine. Kenneth Walker, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, not bad. Trey Benson. Seems like Benson just can't stay healthy. Benson might be trash. I like the swing on Benson. I've believed in him in the past, but I've also seen some questionable things. Brissett is fully under contract. I thought that okay. Then yeah, him and Kyler. I could definitely see him beat out Kyler. But Sharbs, Mixon, and Brashard Smith. I'm not sure I love the Mixon pick here, but I like having 7 when you have Travion and Quinshon. I like having 7. Wide receiver, JSN, DK Metcalf, Ricky Pearsall, Worthy, McMillan, Horton, and Keon Coleman. Love the Jalen McMillan pick. Love the Torrey Horton pick. I want to love the Ricky click, but in all honesty, I'm worried he just can't stay healthy either. And then Metcalf, until I know Rodgers returns, I'm a little bit reluctant to like fully endorse Metcalf, but he's going at an okay value where it's fine. But JSN is the one, gives you a little leeway. So I think having 7 is okay, but Keon scares me a little bit, but going super late, that's fine. And then at tight end, you have Bowers, Goddard, and Arroyo. I think if I might change one thing, I might pass on Arroyo when you have Bowers and Goddard and add another receiver here. Like, I think that's the only thing I might do differently, but this is the last round, so who cares? Good team. Like, very comfortable running back room, solid QB room, especially if I'm corrected on Brissett and he does stay with Arizona. But yeah, some good swings and like solid correlation as well on some of these picks. Love the Seahawks stack. Very nice Seahawks stack. Not bad at all. Only thing I might change is the Arroyo selection, but very nitpicky on that. Not a big deal. 2 more likes for another draft. I mean, if we don't get it, I might just log off. That's okay too. Who else was in this draft? We had P Punch. P Punch was at the 11. The 11. He has Trevor Lawrence right at ADP, Jordan Love also at ADP, and then Malik Willis 5 picks past ADP, basically right in range. But James Cook at the 11, Ashton Genty in the 2nd round. Took Dobbins. I love the Dobbins pick, but I prefer him as like the RB4 on the team than the RB3. But given you have Cook and Genty, that's totally fine. Tajay, I like that pick as well. I didn't like what's his face? Pollard last year. I was more of a Tajay guy last year, but then he got hurt. As long as Tajay doesn't get injured again in the preseason, I think he could crush, but he usually gets hurt. He's had a rough time staying healthy. We also have Dylan Sampson on this team, a good swing. I assume Jerome Ford will be leaving, so Dylan Sampson clearly the RB2. I also think Jerome Ford is an interesting swing super late. The likes I'm seeing is 14, but it looks like Shanzo sees 15. So far, I see 14. So one more. We need one more. And then at receiver, we have Ted McMillan. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit worried about the Tedero McMillan price. A little bit. I loved it last year. It didn't quite live up to expectation. And now it's going higher. I understand the talent, the year 2 breakout. But I personally, I kind of want to wait for him to be in the 40s. I feel like he's more of a 4th round pick than a 3rd round pick. Tet goes pick 35. I mean, one of the last picks of the 3rd round, so whatever. But personally, I don't think I would be passing on AJ Brown for Tet. That's my take on it. It might change later, but last year I loved Tet, so I understand. Devontae in the next round, not a bad selection at all. Christian Watson, I think, is a great value. Brian Thomas, also a very good pick. I love the top 4 receivers. Like, as a group, these are very nice top 4 receivers. When you start off Cook and Genty, not bad at all. Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, pretty good rookies. I love Jeremy Bernard as well. Jeremy going super late. That's a great pick. Marvin Mims, when he does hit, he can give you like 20 points. So for best ball purposes, not bad, but I fade him a little bit personally. And then Cooper Kupp, I've been drafting so much Torrey Horton. I've been betting against Kupp, but that could definitely also work out. Tucker Kraft, great value. Love where Kraft is going. I think he's a great pick. AJ Barner, also pretty good click. You got him a full round past ADP, so good value on him. And then Mason Taylor there. I don't know how I feel about Mason Taylor, to be honest, but what is this, round 18 or whatever? Not bad. That's fine. Not bad at all. But if y'all see 15, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put us to 15. I'm going to like it myself. I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're definitely doing another one. Here we go. Oh, it's showing me 16. So for whatever reason, yeah, y'all were right. We do have what we need for the second draft. Is there anyone else that was in this lobby that I'm forgetting? Is there anyone else? Two Meals in a Cart. Encourage me to do some drafters in the future. Cool interface and nice community. Plus, I can't do Underdog because Doug Ford is a tax-hungry boob. We will try to expand. We will absolutely try to expand. Definitely. Okay, so we hit the light goal. Is there anyone I'm missing? I don't recognize Good Luck, Todd the Show. Hames, don't you have a drafter's code? I should use your code. I think we visited everyone's team. I believe that's everyone. Okay. So if that's the case, we will head over. And it looks like 2/3 of the voters want a big board. So we will satisfy what y'all want. We will do the big board. We're going to end the poll. It's not letting me end the poll. Whatever. We are doing a big board. We're going to hop into a big board. So I'm going to hit the drop. I'm going to hit the pipe. And when we're on the other side of the drop, we will hop in. So wait for this to be over. And the drop's like 8 to 10 seconds. Here we go. Okay. There's a roughly 6 to 8 second delay. So if you would like to be in the same pod as me, if you want to click the button right as I do, you should hit the button in 3, 2, 1 right now. Click that button right now. And then I will join in 3, 2, 1. I'm joining, and it should be linked up. There's only one spot left. Only one spot remaining. If you want it, come get it. But perhaps we will not get everyone. If you would like the final spot in this lobby, go ahead. It is now taken. Draft will be starting very shortly. And I see P Punch in here. I see Dirty P right before me. And then otherwise, Ladies First was in our last one. So apologies if I did not review your team, Ladies First. But I asked if anyone was still in there. So perhaps it's just a coincidence that I'm in the same lobby as Ladies First. Especially if I'm doing one right after I'm done. It's definitely a world where we're just clicking the button in the same span of 12 picks. So we'll review P Punch's team and Dirty P, and then I'll probably log off. I think I'm only going to do two drafts today. Want to chat with the girlfriend after, and yeah, don't want to keep her waiting very long. Nearly Valentine's Day. We don't want to get on the wrong foot approaching Valentine's Day. But anyways, Better draft running backs or I will bully you. You're not the only one that's going to bully me. Definitely not the only one. But where are you drafting, Shanzo? Am I missing you? Are you Hefe? No. Remind me your username. Apologies, I forgot it. But CMC goes above JSN. I don't hate it. I'm not sure I would do it, but I don't hate it. I get it. Pick 9. Oh, you're Dirty P. I apologize, man. it throws me off that Dirty P is so much different than Shanzo Gonzo. But I'm at the 10 and Jonathan Taylor's here. I mean, I'm not a big Jonathan Taylor guy. But to get him at the 10, I'll take the discount. That's fine. Apologies. I assumed you were like right next to me. I was like, apologies, bro. Okay. Amon Ra goes at 11. Genty goes at 12. You know I like James Cook. I would have been perfectly fine with James Cook there, but you know what? This is the first time I'm drafting Jonathan Taylor. At least knowing that Cook was off the board, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But 100% I am taking a running back here, and I think I saw somebody else do it. I'm kind of relinquishing some of the ADP value if I take Derrick Henry. So, yeah, I'll just go Hampton. Hampton usually goes pick 16. Taylor goes pick 6. Maybe I should have taken Trey McBride there for just the unique aspect of it. But we already have a team where I drafted Trey McBride early, and I wasn't in love with my running back outcomes on that team. Especially when Dirty P's let me know ahead of time that I'm about to get bullied at running back. But yes, I would agree. The ADP value does feel like a gift. I still think Cook is a safer pick, but I will take the gift. I appreciate the gift. Very generous, but I also could see it not work out at all. I think Taylor's going too early at the 106. I think he's a bit overpriced. But it's only 4 picks, so like who cares? But the nuances at the top are very important. I do understand passing on Taylor there. I mean, there was in the back of my mind there was part of me that was kind of thinking this is whoa, what did I just do? I'm sorry. What the fuck? Yo, apologies. Apologies on that. That was bad. I like Cook as well. Cook is one of my most drafted running backs. Maybe I should go over my exposure after this because I've done enough where it's like relevant. I've taken Cook a lot, so I'm okay not having him, but no, that's just me. That was just me being high. I shifted over to the OBS like window and I like double clicked on like the section that changes all the scenes. So that was just straight up me. But Who Hames says I'm a little worried about the Colts offense if they don't get Jones back or he isn't ready. Yeah, when they did not have Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor was not valuable at all. Jonathan Taylor was not the top 3 running back that he's being like drafted as at all. He was barely like top 10. He was like RB12 on like a good day. He was not as effective. He was still getting a monster boatload of touches. That's where I'm fine taking him. You know, like you're telling me Taylor's not going to have a few games with like 26, 28 carries. That's bullshit. He is going to still pop off a few times. And based on how running back is being valued as of today, I still think he should be drafted in the top 10. But I could have argued, like, I could have taken Derrick Henry over Jonathan Taylor and made a case for it. I genuinely could have done that. I don't think it's like a good argument to be making, but I don't think it's like egregious either to want to fade Taylor and consider someone like Derrick Henry as like first round worthy. I don't think it's insane. Now, I'm not going to be reaching on him because that otherwise I'd have Derrick Henry at like 80% exposure. That I think is insane. That I think is dumb. You want good values, but I don't think it's like ludicrous to consider Jonathan Taylor equally as valuable, if not less valuable, than Derrick Henry. They're not that much different. But that'll probably get clipped. I'll probably look like a dumbass for saying that. I don't care. It's February. Let the hot takes fly. But Allen goes at 33. I do think Allen's a fine pick, but I'll take AJ Brown. I'm okay with that one. I don't think I want JMO. I'm gonna go Adams. JMO's okay. I don't think you are making a mistake drafting JMO, but I literally have like 30% Jared Goff at this point, so I don't want the excuse of taking another Jared Goff team. But Peanut Punch saying one is old, and that's accurate, Peanut Punch. But did you have Derrick Henry in Week 17? Were you alive in Week 17 with Derrick Henry on your roster? Weren't you happy to have Derrick Henry drop 4 touchdowns and like 250 yards on the Packers in Week 17? You know, like, it's a weekly game, bud. It's a weekly game. And Jonathan Taylor is also capable of doing that. He's also capable of doing the same thing. So that's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, on the season, it's probably better to have Taylor. It probably makes a lot more sense to draft Taylor above him. But in any given week, you can't guarantee that you wouldn't rather have someone like Derrick Henry or Breece Hall or Chase Brown or even Travis Etienne. Like, you know, it's possible that's just not who you need. It's a weird game. And you really don't know for sure what's going to happen. You can feel confident, you can make educated guesses, but like we are kind of swinging a little recklessly, especially in February, and we don't know where everyone's going to land. But need to build some Henry AJ Brown stacks. That feels also pretty solid. Like, in all honesty, I kind of wish I had the gumption to take Derrick Henry there instead of Omarion Hampton, but I can also get a Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown combo at ADP, taking Taylor at the 106. Like, there's probably going to be a few Taylor and Derrick Henry teams that are in the 5 hole or the 6 hole or the 7 hole, you know? So to do it in the 10, that's where I held off, but I could totally see it work. Definitely. But wanted to maintain some of the value I got on Taylor by taking someone atop the ADP with Hampton. And he wasn't even the highest ranked. Like, if I wanted just the highest ranked player, I would have gotten McBride. And that would have locked in as much falling value on Taylor as possible. But taking Hampton, I think, is totally legit. It's what I did. Henry randomly falls into round 3. I've seen him go there as well. It's weird, man. Always odd shit happening. But like Peanut Punch says, he is very old. He's just like a freak athlete that just defies every other expectation we've ever known. He's really a unicorn. There's no one else like Derrick Henry, at least in like today's NFL. Like maybe Adrian Peterson, but not really. I'm going to take a shot that one of these rookie receivers comes back and like the cliff at running back is just so steep. We are going to bully the teams behind us and take DeAndre Swift. We're going to go with Swift. I think Swift is one of the last like truly safe running backs who, if he's your number 2, you're in fine shape. But if he's your number 3, you are living. So let's point the middle finger at teams 11 and 12 and prevent them from getting the last like safe running back selection. Also, they're not even taking the guys I thought they would take. They at least Lemon gets taken, but you're telling me I can still grab Tyson here? Yeah, let's definitely take Tyson at 63. I have them in the same tier as Tate. I don't know enough at this stage of time to have like really bold stances on which one of the 3 I want the most, but I think they're all justifiably going in the 3rd round. They're both all going to be drafted round 1, and in the ADP they're going in round 5. So to get him in round 6, let's do that comfortably. I'm so glad I went with Swift there. That feels great. Taylor, Hampton, Swift, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Jordan Tyson. This team so far is really nice. I'm pretty happy with this team and glad that it's in a big board instead of a little board. But it's only 6 rounds in. I can definitely still wreck the team with a lot of mistakes. I don't want to get too cocky. But so far, I like the team. I think we're in good shape so far. We got Taylor at a discount. Hampton, I think, is a smash. And then Swift, just such a safe pick. AJ Brown could literally still be a top 5 receiver, especially if he gets traded somewhere. I think that'd be awesome. I almost considered taking Drake May, to be honest. Like, I could see AJ Brown traded to the Patriots, 100%. Not going to guarantee it, but definitely possible. And then Adams, as long as Stafford's there, like touchdown city, population him. And then Tyson, let's hope for the best, but definitely going to be drafted high enough where whatever team takes him is going to be committed. Like, imagine if he lands in like Buffalo, you know? That's pretty exciting. So let's take a look at Jordan Tyson. I feel like anytime I draft a rookie, we should probably at least take a little bit of a time to talk about him. But he got injured 2 years ago. He played for Arizona. He transferred to Arizona State and only played 3 games, had 3 targets, not a single reception. Unless for some reason these stats are just like not up to date. But I trust the stats are up to date. 12 games last year though, 75 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So huge bounce back. Had a 30% target share. That's pretty dope. Catch rate 65%, not insane, but sometimes that has to do with quarterback play as well. But 75 for 1,101. That's almost 15 yards per catch. That's not bad at all. And then 10 touchdowns in 12 games. That's pretty dope. He's 6'1", weighs 200 pounds, and then he's only 21 and a half. So pretty safe to say he was a junior last year. Just want to. No, he was actually a senior. He was a 4th year junior academically. Oh, okay. They're just not giving me his last season on Player Profiler. Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't like to go to Player Profiler all the time. At this point in time, it's not fully updated. So that was his junior year, the 75 for 1,100. And then last year only played 9 games, 61 for 7, 11, and 8 touchdowns. So in less time, kind of similar. Oh, shit, I'm on the clock. Fuck. I'll go Herbert. We have Hampton. Yeah, give me Herbert. Definitely. We almost got boxed out at quarterback. There's a big run on QB there, as expected. Always kind of happens in this section of the draft. And neither of the teams after me have quarterbacks, so watch them both draft a quarterback here. I don't think I'll get Mahomes. But he goes Blake Corum. Ooh, I might get the stack with Quentin Johnston. That'd be dope. Take Mahomes. Oh, they go Pollard. That's fine. Hell yeah. Give me Quentin Johnston all day here, especially with Herbert. We got Herbert stacked up with Hampton and QJ. I'm liking this team a lot. Hell yeah. Herbert going round 7 sounds a little bit high. Sounds like there's a world that might not work out. But with the Mike McDaniel acquisition, good play calling, made Tua look good, so Herbert should look great. Definitely an upgrade over Greg Roman. Plus, you add the tackles getting healthy. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater should be active, so that's definitely a bonus. And then, another year with Jim Harbaugh should play pretty well. Round 7 should pay off based on last year's stats. He did have a really good stretch for a while. But then when you put in context that he's being drafted at what? QB 10? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, QB 10 off the board. Herbert is absolutely going to finish in the top 10 in scoring. So great circumstances. We got a double stack with Hampton and QJ. I'm feeling good with the Herbert selection. So a full reminder on the team, we go Taylor Hampton, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Tyson, and then Herbert and QJ to complete our stack. I am liking it a lot. Feel very good so far. But Derrick Henry is like Zangief from Street Fighter. I don't play Street Fighter. I stopped playing video games a while ago. I got boring after college. Even like during college, there was a time where I was like kind of like, I don't know if I just connect with this as much. I like playing against someone. Like I like 1v1 or like playing any game online where like you're playing against real people. So if you play that type of stuff, that's dope. But I never really got into like Call of Duty or like fighter games too much, like other than like Super Smash Bros. There weren't that many like melee games that I like got addicted to. Ooh, big run on quarterback. The teams behind me, I'm pretty shocked, passed on quarterback the way they did. Like around the turn to already be at QB 16 and not have one with 3 picks before yours, like yikes. These days, I don't think that's the strategy you really want. I think you need a quarterback by round 7 most of the time. The team that got Mahomes at 95 got a gift. If I didn't have the stack with QJ, I might have taken Mahomes personally. But here I am. And I think I'm going to go Bo Nix here. Because, like, I really need to punish them a little bit extra. I didn't take Jameson Williams, so I don't have a reason to be stacking Goff. I have a lot of Goff already. I'm going to go Bo Nix. With the rushing value, I think that's pretty solid. Bo Nix going as QB 16 feels a little low. A little bit late, if you ask me. Like, I know he just broke his ankle, but that's February. He's going to be active in September. I wish that team didn't just take Gadsden. I would have loved to have Gadsden. But I think taking Bo Nix was wiser. I do like Jaden Reed, but we're getting a big discount on Addison. And although I'm a bit worried, I from a per game standpoint, Addison has such a high ceiling. And like last year was weird, but like touchdowns are very often going to hit with him. And now I have a reason to maybe take like Aaron Rodgers in one of the final rounds. Like Addison going after Shakir, that feels like a really good value. So I'll take Addison. Would have loved to take Oronde Gadsden. Thought I was going to give P Punch, Dirty P. Dalton Kincaid there as kind of a gift, but they're a little bit behind on receiver. I understand why they took Coker. I understand that, but thought they might go Kincaid for the stack. But we take Addison 111. His ADP was like 100. What was his ADP? 101. We get him 10 picks after ADP. That's not bad at all. We also got Jordan Tyson 6 picks past ADP. And then otherwise, our quarterbacks barely past ADP. It's pretty negligible. So far, Addison was our best value. 10 picks behind ADP. So other than tight end, this team is really loaded. I haven't taken tight end yet, but there's still some good values on the board. I've been liking more of my teams that fade tight end among all four positions. If you're gonna fade one of them and still get away with it, it is definitely tight end. The other position you can kind of get away with it is wide receiver, but in general, I don't like to be past round 6 without at least 2 or 3 receivers. I think at least 2 receivers by round 6 is pretty critical. But you want running back early this year. Definitely want running back early. And then quarterback has gotten so balanced where I think by the time you get to round 10, you want to have your second quarterback. Like the team at 12 with no quarterback right now, I don't envy at all. They took Genty, London, Tedro McMillan, Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison, Baishal Tootin, Blake Corum, Rico Dowdle, and Aronde Gatson. The team's not bad, but there's no quarterback, and the best available was just Stroud that came off the board. That is risky as fuck. That is really risky. Emmett Johnson goes. Goddard goes. Would have loved to have Goddard on this team. But we're in good shape at running back, so it's not that big of a deal. I assume... Oh, Coleman didn't go. That's interesting, but... Do I take the rookie here if he's there? Maybe. We're getting a 15 pick discount on Jonah Coleman. I think I'm going to take it. That was the mantra that I spoke about in the last draft that we just didn't really stick to. But if you're going to take rookies, it feels much wiser to get them when they're at a significant discount. We get a 15 pick drop on Jonah Coleman. Out of Washington, previously at Arizona, played 4 years. Last year had 12 games. Oh, I'm on the clock. Never mind. Dobbins still there? Love Dobbins in this range. Absolutely love Dobbins. Yeah, let's go Dobbins. Honestly, I think I can stop with these 5 running backs. I think this is such a good combination where I can absolutely stop. But let's just talk about Coleman real fast. Played for Washington last 2 seasons. And a bit of a dip in production. But in terms of yards per touch, overall that went up. He improved as a pass catcher. Has very good receiving stats. 25 catches as a sophomore, 23 catches as a junior. And then last year had 31 receptions for 354 yards. So love to see that. Any running back that goes over 20 catches, I'm like, okay, you have dual threat ability. That's what I would like to see. But then from a overall yards from scrimmage standpoint, 3 straight years with at least 1,100 yards. And then last year had 17 total touchdowns. That's pretty dope. Is it going to translate to the NFL? Always never a guarantee, like right out the gate, but definitely encouraging. To get him 15 picks after ADP feels pretty nice. So yeah, we will take that falling value at 130 overall. And our running back room is really, really nice. We have Taylor, Hampton, Swift, Jonah Coleman, and J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins feels like one of the safest picks on the board. But Sean Zagonza saying, sorry, not sorry. Is this because you left me Coleman? Maybe you don't like Coleman. You did take Bryce Young above Coleman. But that team at 12 got a little bit bailed out with Shuck and Darnold. At 132, 133 overall. A solid discount as well on those 2 guys. But I'm happy with Dobbins in this range. I think Dobbins is a very legitimate pick. I think it's pretty likely he goes back to Denver. And then it's also, if that's the case, pretty likely he's still kind of ahead of RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey didn't look good enough to where if he's against Dobbins in the pecking order again, I don't think RJ Harvey has like supreme job security. Other than the draft capital, I don't think there's anything that would prevent Sean Payton from like not giving the ball to Dobbins at a pretty high rate again, above Harvey's rate. He also got hurt pretty like mid-season, and there was a chance that if they made the Super Bowl, he would be playing this weekend. So Dobbins should be healthy enough by September, barring a off-season injury. You know, if he tears his Achilles in July, not going to be surprised. But at least today, I think he's a very, very solid pick where he's going. But this team still doesn't have tight end, so that's probably a priority. The team after us also does not have tight end. So that's important to keep in mind. We have the same build, a 2-5-5-0, and I like my quarterbacks a lot better, so I think I like my team better. But they have 2 picks behind us, so I don't think I want to get sniped on tight end here. But also, like, are we really going to take Kenyon Sadiq? I don't know. The value isn't there at tight end where I have to go in that direction, honestly. Sadiq gets sniped as well. So we could take the value on Travis Hunter, but honestly, the Jags receiving room is just so crowded. I'm going to take Pat Bryant for the Bo Nix stack. I think Pat Bryant is the more valuable Broncos wideout at this point in time. Like Sutton could still be the guy, but Bryant was really coming alive. And Bryant goes fucking 8 rounds after Sutton. Yeah, I'd rather invest in Pat Bryant than Cortland Sutton at this point in time. I think Mims is okay. Troy Franklin is fine, but I think the guy I'm most excited about is Pat Bryant. Am I doing another draft? No, I think this will be my last one. I think this is my last one. Gotta get on the phone after this. Do we reach on a tight end? We could go Kelsey. I think Kelsey's going too late, so I don't hate taking Kelsey. But then I could also go Troy Franklin. Nah, fuck it. Let's reach on Kelsey. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Oh, sorry, not sorry. Was for the 12 hole. Took his Bryce Young. Right. He has Tet. Did you at least stack him? Yeah, you stacked him with Coker and Chuba Hubbard. Okay. Very justified. But wait. Okay, yeah. Pretty justified. He did get a decent value though on Shuck. Like Shuck is going at like 118, 119, 120. So just from that standpoint, perhaps he wasn't too upset about it. But yeah, the stack is definitely better. He also had Dowdle, so might have been trying to build it. Ruthless. Ruthless in these streets. Dirty P is dirty for a reason. All right. So, let me know if you think this team needs a 6th running back. I kind of believe it doesn't, but I'm liking it a lot so far. We have A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Jordan Tyson, Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, and Pat Bryant at receiver. Our running back room is Taylor Hampton and Swift, Jonah Coleman, and J.K. Dobbins. And then our quarterbacks are Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. Our tight end right now is Travis Kelce. Very interesting. But the tight end position, we did reach on him. Right now, Brandon Ayuk is falling like a rock. And of all names to be falling, that's definitely one that makes sense. But thank you all for watching. Appreciate everyone. If you haven't done so, or if you're just popping in, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you don't want to miss these live streams, if you want to know every time I go live, ring the notification bell. That way, you'll be updated on all my new posts every time I have new content. And if you want to be drafting with me, you'll know to hop in. We try to give you a little bit of time at the beginning to get acclimated and get set, get ready to join. But in general, that is the best way. But we got a minor green log over there at Team 3. It just took 4 straight running backs after JCM in the 10th. And their only other running back is Jalen Warren. Definitely a strategy that's kind of needed. I am not envious. I'll let Sweet Leaf know. I am not envious of having to go 4 straight running backs in rounds 12 through 15. The names are not inspiring. There are some that are okay, but 4 of them, that's tough. Will Dirty P snipe me? I mean, if Troy Franklin's going to make it, I'm probably going to take Troy Franklin because I have Bo Nix. He takes Terrence Ferguson. Given the state of tight end around this turn, I think that's a fair move. But I'm going to grab the falling value on Troy Franklin. We kind of negate it entirely because of the Travis Kelce reach. We reached on Kelce ADP 173. We took him at 159. Instead, we got Troy Franklin at 178, ADP 165. So really these last 2 picks, any value I'm getting on Troy Franklin is completely negated by drafting Kelce. But honestly, I think I played it correctly. I got the guy I really wanted, tight end, and then we got the stack that was still available coming back around. But the tight ends left on the board, I think I like Gunnar Helm quite a bit. Interesting that Penix is still there. There's also A.D. Mitchell. Fuck it, I'll go A.D. Mitchell. Haven't taken him much. He also fell 12 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 receivers. I think I'm going to stop with A.D. Mitchell. So only 1 rookie receiver on this team, Jordan Tyson. And then we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Jordan Tyson, Quentin Johnston, Addison, Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, and A.D. Mitchell. Not bad at wide receiver. I like the running back room quite a bit. And then our quarterback duo so far is pretty solid. Honestly, I think I can get away with not drafting a third one, but I definitely plan to draft a third quarterback. I could have taken Michael Penix there. He's still on the board. He's falling considerably. The team with London, crazy that the team with London took J.J. McCarthy over Michael Penix. That feels bold, but I kind of get it. They did not have Justin Jefferson. They did not have Addison. They did not have T.J. Hawkinson. That team at 12 just prefers J.J. McCarthy over Michael Penix and the stack. I don't think I would have done that. That feels a bit odd. Not going to lie. Also, I think that Tyler is probably fucking pissed about it. The team at 11 has Jefferson, also has T.J. Hawkinson, but they also already had 3 quarterbacks, so maybe they don't give a fuck. Maybe they don't care. But the J.J. McCarthy pick feels a little bit strange to me when you have London. Sweep the leg. No mercy. No mercy. Okay, so I have 4 picks left. I need 2 tight ends for sure. I might take another running back, and then I'm probably taking another quarterback, but I think I'm done at receiver for the most part. I like the group I have. I feel okay with the group I have. So unless there's like a really good value or just no other name that I'm interested in at all, Gunnar Helm gets taken. So maybe I should have taken Gunnar Helm like I queued him up. We took A.D. Mitchell instead. I think that was a fair gamble. Like Gunnar Helm goes 199. I have pick 202, so only 3 picks away. Almost got him. And then A.D. Mitchell was a full round past ADP. So we would have been reaching heavily on Helm to pass on Mitchell. I think that's I'm tolerating what happened. I think it's okay. But honestly, I might grab like 4 tight ends on this team. I don't want to take another Jet, so I think I'm going to pass on Mason Taylor. I'm going to go Jake Tonges. Has plantar fascia injury. That's not good, but Kittle got hurt so late in the year. I don't know how healthy Kittle's going to be. And Tonjes was really killing it. Tonjes was playing well. So this team doesn't have a very safe tight end room, but it's very dependent on like Kelsey just not retiring. Stowers is interesting. Stowers could pop. I also think Michael Trigg is interesting. Max Clare is interesting. I might grab some rookie tight ends. So perhaps instead, I just go quarterback. Around the long turn. Yeah, let's get ahead of that. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. My only hope is that Rodgers plays for the Vikings. That's my ringtone. That's my hope. I think it's possible. Is that lighting better? I think so. It's a little bright, but we're only going to be here for another like 10 minutes max. I can live with that. The shadows aren't as bad. Anyways, yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I think given how cheap he is, around 18, 19, 20, that's all the same to me. So I'll just take him and avoid getting sniped. But my hope is that he's a Viking and I have the Addison stack. Like, I kind of wish I got TJ Hawkinson around the turn, but I'm fine with Rodgers in the final 3 rounds. I think once you hit round 18, it's all fair game with Rodgers. But I've gotten him many times late round 20. I've literally taken him with the final pick at 240. So you don't have to take him here. He goes later, but I just want to get ahead of it. Shanzo saying, Fergie. Sorry, bro. He's way too cheap, though, right? Yeah, I think that's a good pick, man. I don't blame you. I wanted Hawkinson, not Ferguson. But I took Franklin instead. I understood the risk. But Ferguson, I think, is a very solid pick. I think he's the one I want the most in the Rams offense. I loved him last year. He was one of my darlings in the final round. I took a lot of Terrence Ferguson, actually. But round 2 pick, good stats in college. Definitely used a lot last year down the stretch. Once Higbee went down, he was a good option for like some down the field upside as well. Like he's a deep threat at times. He has definitely like the higher ceiling among the Rams tight end room. I'd much rather go Ferguson than Colby Parkinson. But it is also a little crowded. So there's some risk it doesn't work out. But I do like that pick a lot. I would have considered it as well if I wasn't getting a big value on Troy Franklin with the Bo Nix stack. But personally, I wanted to go Franklin there at 178. And then I was hoping that Hawkinson would circle back. Because as soon as I got the value on Addison, my plan was to just take Rodgers and hope that I'm getting the Vikings quarterback. He also might play elsewhere. Rodgers could also go to a different team. Doubtful he goes to the Steelers, but that's also a possibility. I just don't think he retires yet. I think he played too well last year to fully retire. But he could also retire and be a 0. I might be wasting a lot of money drafting Rodgers. But Dirty P on the clock right now, then it's our pick. My plan is to go Eli Stowers. I'll be honest. That's the plan. And that's what we're going to do. We could take Darnell Mooney or Chris Bell, but I don't think this team needs another receiver, and neither of them are like safe investments today. So I think this team just needs tight end much more. We will go with a rookie tight end, Eli Stowers, and hope for the best. And then I'll look at Stowers' stats after I make this pick, but I want to plan it because I might just take another tight end. I think Chigo Konko is interesting, a free agent that is pretty legit. I also think Michael Trigg is interesting. Max Clare, I've heard some good things, but we'd be going heavy rookie tight end. And do I really want the fourth? I like my running back room though. I think I could maybe just go 4 tight ends here. Um, hmm. Kalen Black is interesting. I draft Jawar Jordan sometimes, but maybe not today. Fuck it. Let's go double rookie with Michael Trigg, and we'll take a look at both of these tight ends. The tight end room is very risky, but because Kelsey's my number 1 and he might retire, I'll take 4. Especially given Tonjes is not a lock to play full season as well. Yeah, tight end, I may have risked a little bit too much, but I really liked the team overall. I think it might have been worth it. So a reminder, we were in the 10 slot. We took Jonathan Taylor at a good value, followed by Omarion Hampton. Grabbed A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams around the 3-4 turn. Then I took Swift because the teams after me definitely would have taken him. That neither of them had more than 1 running back. So that's just reading the board. And then we got a good falling value on Jordan Tyson coming back around. I almost took Drake May there. I think in the 6th, I'm okay with it. I think now that he's started to fall, I'm more comfortable taking Drake May a little bit more often. And then I'm also optimistic that A.J. Brown is traded to the Patriots. So that I considered, but I didn't take it. Maybe I should have, but I'm fine with Tyson. And then we took Herbert and got Quentin Johnston as a stack in the 8th round. That was a really nice combo. Then I took Bo Nix because neither team behind me had quarterback. We wanted to get ahead of that position and kind of punish them for waiting. Followed it up with Jordan Addison at a huge value by grabbing DeAndre Swift. I think I really did myself some good. I gave myself some good karma because we just forced the issue so much at running back that like these 4 rounds, neither team grabbed a receiver. I got to take who I wanted the most by passing. I think I played those turns really, really well in hindsight. Then we got a great falling value on Jonah Coleman, like 15 picks. So happy to scoop that up with some upside. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is a very solid, safe pick. I think there's an argument he's just as valuable as like R.J. Harvey, who's going in the 5th round, because I believe he'll be back with Denver. And then we also took Pat Bryant, another Bronco most likely, for the stack with Bo Nix. I think he's the most valuable receiver they got. Then I kind of panicked on tight end, and I did get sniped on a couple. So I just took Travis Kelce because I think Kelsey's legitimately going like 5 rounds too cheap if you can guarantee that he is actually not going to retire. So we took Kelce just to play it safe, but that is a bit of a gamble. We got rewarded with the value on Troy Franklin that fell, a full like 12, 15 picks on Troy Franklin, also to stack up. So that is nice with some upside. A.D. Mitchell had also fallen significantly, so took that value as well. And then we had to finally catch up at tight end. I ended up going with 4, with 2 of them being rookies and the other 2 being such gambles. I think I made the wise choice. I don't love 4 tight end builds, but in a 20-round draft, I think the way to do it is something like this. Wait a long time, grab a really high upside veteran, and then some rookies, and then maybe someone that does shock us, that has shown some touchdown production. But I don't feel great about it. But at the end of your draft, these are the picks that shouldn't make you feel confident. I also took Aaron Rodgers with the swing that he's a Viking, and I have him stacked up with Jordan Addison. I at least think he can play and will, and I'm not going to get 0 points out of it. I'm happy to have a third quarterback when I only have Herbert and Bo Nix. But Rodgers is a gamble. Absolutely could be a 0. I'm hopeful. I'm wishing for the best, but I could be wrong with Rodgers. So some big risks towards the end of this draft. I don't think that the last like 6 or 7 rounds are like safe bets at all, but that's just how it went. And I think with our investment at running back so early on, it's justified. I like the receiver room on this team. I think especially with Addison as the 5th, Pat Bryant as the number 6, I'm chilling. And then with the good values on Franklin and Mitchell, like we got some solid upside with a lot of correlating pieces. And then I love the running backs on the top of this team. With Taylor, Hampton, and Swift, I really think I'm in a safe position. Um, in the flex spot as well. I think all three can hit my lineup most of the time. So I like this team. I think it worked out pretty well. We'll see how tight end and quarterback goes, but for the most part, I like this team a lot. Let's take a look at Dirty P, who was in this draft right ahead of us. Mentioned he was going to be a bit cutthroat, might snipe us, but the chat said he gave us a gift, passing on Taylor for James Cook. I think it's fine. Then takes Jeremiah Love, pretty solid investment as well. Love the RB start. Then goes Josh Allen. I think a very justified selection, especially as quarterback has been so much more expensive this year. Getting the QB1 feels fine. Even in round 3 last year, it was a smash pick. It's going to work out. I think Allen is a great pick where you took him. If you ever get Allen in the 4th round, it's an auto click. Then goes Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, not to get too far behind at receiver. Did pass on Swift, though, and I think for Watson, that's justifiable, but the difference between Swift and Ramondre is kind of significant. So solid RB3. Tucker Kraft, I think, is one of the best values at tight end if you're going to go early. Awesome pick there. Love that selection. Then you go Chuba Hubbard, who I'm not in love with, but I think is fine. I think personally, you didn't have to go Chuba Hubbard. I mean, if you like him, that's totally fine. But I think for the build, I might have liked the receiver there. Like the value on Pierce wasn't too bad, but he's kind of a gamble. None of these receivers are locks though, so I get it. I think that's totally fine. Wandale at a decent value. Coker, I like both of them. I like both of those picks. Kayshon Boutte feels like a very good value, going way too late. So excellent click there. Then also took Bryce Young for the stacking combo to snipe Team 12. Definitely justified. Kenyon Sadiq, I remember he was falling dramatically, so good value on Sadiq. Nice to get the rookies cheap. Also took Elijah Surratt, I believe at a value. Let me double check on that. What was the ADP value on Surratt? You got him 160, so slightly above ADP. Okay, that's fine. It's late enough in the draft, but not just a pick value. That's fine. Terrence Ferguson, I think that was the right call. Given how this turn needed tight ends so desperately, I think you made the right move going Ferguson, get your guy. Then go Keon Coleman with the Allen stack. It makes sense. Also have Devon Vele, Malik Washington, Rashad Bateman, Andrew Wilson. I almost forgot about the Bryce Young pick and thought they only had Josh Allen. And I honestly didn't hate it. But yeah, with Allen, you only need one other quarterback. So Bryce Young, totally legitimate. A lot of receiver swings. You waited a long time, so like you need all these receiver picks. But what's the overall build? A 2-5-10-3. Wow, 2-5-10-3. I haven't done many with 10 receivers, but I think it works. I mean, especially when you have Chuba Hubbard as the 4 to stop with Mike Washington super late. You need all these swings. I like the team. I think Kraft, Sadiq as a flyer, and Ferguson is very, very solid. Anytime you have Allen, like whoever else you have, makes you feel comfortable. But personally, I've been going with like an earlier number 2 quarterback a little bit. But with Young and some stacks, it's totally fine. And then you got Cook stacked up with Allen. That's dope. Love, we'll see where he lands, but should be a good pick. And then Stevenson, pretty underrated. Chuba Hubbard should be the number 1. But at this point in time, you don't know for sure. And then receiver, you got enough flyers and like good values. I like the team. I think it's a pretty solid team. You have so many receivers, so it works. Absolutely, it works. Not bad. And then we're also in here with P Punch. And P Punch took JSN, Trey McBride. Good value on McBride. And also decent value on JSN. That's not a super common combo. But then T Higgins, Zay Flowers. Not bad at all. I like those two in those 2 rounds. Quinshon Judkins, pretty solid in the 5th. Not bad at all. Also took Drake May at a good value. If you told me Drake May is always going to go here, I'll mix in Drake May quite often. I think this is a great place to take Drake May. I almost took it instead of Tyson, but I got a good value on Tyson. Honestly, love the value on Drake May. Pair that up with Stephon Diggs and DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore in the 90s. I think he's a very, very solid pick. P Punch saying, mixed in a super thin build, fun, but would not recommend. Right. Your running back room is, oh, wow. Your running back room is gross. Got Jadarian Price as your RB2 in the 9th. Juwan Jennings at 115. I mean, amazing value on Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings feels like he's going way too late, so I get it. But a free agent, let's hope for the best. Then you took Emmett Johnson. Solid pick. Very, very legitimate. And then you took Malik Willis, Juwan Johnson, and then 4 straight RBs with Aaron Jones, Rachaad White, Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson. I mean, who you got is not bad. Like, Rachaad White could absolutely blow up. Aaron Jones, talented enough where probably still plays in the NFL and has some upside. But just hope he's not with the Vikings. And then Dylan Sampson paired with Quinshawn. That's very safe. I like the RB1 handcuff given how tied you are to Cleveland's backfield. Not a bad pick at all. And then Caleb Johnson for the hope and a prayer. Probably irrelevant. I don't believe in him, but it's a new coaching staff and he's a 3rd-round pick, so they can't just give up on him, right? It makes sense, and I think Gainwell will probably leave, so not bad. And then Brazzers over there, Brazil, with Kyle Williams and Darnell Mooney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if you need 9 receivers on this team. I think you have such good receivers at the top. The 9th receiver might be a little overkill. I might have taken another swing on running back with one of these last 3 picks, my friend. But 2 0 RB rooms in this draft. Who was the other one? Was it Team 3? Yeah, it was Team 3. They had Warren, JCM, and then the Greenlaw we mentioned. They took between rounds 10 and 19. So 10 rounds, they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 running backs. And JCM is their RB2. That's kind of gross. Yeah. I mean, I would say P-Punch did it much better than Team 3. Very similar approaches, you know, like other than like Daniels versus Judkins, like these drafts are almost like identical in terms of like position by position. I think P-Punch has a much better combination. Only 2 quarterbacks. Interesting. Only Drake May, Malik Willis. Good luck, bro. That's very interesting. I want to see it in like full roster form. I feel like I'm not doing it justice by looking at the board. But quarterbacks, Drake May, Malik Willis. Running back, Quinshawn, Jadarian Price, Emmett Johnson, Aaron Jones, Rachaad White, Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson. And then receiver, JSN, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Diggs, DJ Moore, Juwan. Oh, wow. Power might have just gone out. I think I'm still good, but I totally just lost my light. Okay, that's a sign we're signing off. But, there it is. It's back. That was weird. Trey McBride, Juwan Johnson. Yeah, I think my take on it, I would hold on that take. I think one of these last 3 picks should have been another running back. That's my only note. But I'm fine with Malik Willis and Drake May, oddly enough. It doesn't feel safe at all, but it could work. Were you maybe hoping for Rodgers or someone? Like, honestly, I think you could swap out Brazil and Darnell Mooney for a quarterback and running back, and this team would be fucking choice. But yeah, thin at running back, thin at quarterback, very strong at tight end or receiver. Risky, but I don't hate it. The receiver room is loaded. Receiver's really nice. So yeah, maybe I would swap out 2 of them for another QB and perhaps another swing on running back. The running back swing maybe not as critical, but that's my 2 cents. I believe that's it. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Please let me know if you would like me to check out your team. I don't want to leave you hanging, but I will be logging off in like 3 minutes, in like 1 minute, if I don't hear from anyone. But yeah, fun draft, and the light just went out again. So that's definitely my sign. Definitely the sign. Okay. Yo, the light is just like, do you see that shit? Going on and off. Anyways. Hope you had fun. weird vibes of the lighting right now. But I had fun. I'll see y'all next time. And I also finished the bowl. So peace out. Good luck. I'll see you next time. And hopefully this lighting situation gets resolved. But later. Bye-bye.